What's up, guys? Alright, real quick, want to do another quick video. I think I figured out the popping noise that I was getting and hearing. I was concerned about. Not sure if it was a noise coming from inside the motor or behind the clutch cover. I did figure that it was the exhaust making that noise. At first I checked my clutch. I adjusted it to make sure the proper adjustment was there and it wasn't causing some type of the clutch to do something to make that noise. That didn't do anything. Then I was thinking it might be my chain hitting something because my chain wasn't perfect on this and it had the 16 tooth front sprocket. Changed that, as you saw in my last video. That didn't change anything. So I actually just mounted this camera upside down on the other side of the bike on the passenger peg, aimed right at the exhaust. I went on a test ride for about 5 minutes. And I mean, I can make it make that noise every single time on command. If I want to make it, I could easily make the noise, give it a little bit of gas, and then roll off and then give it slight gas. And it does it every single time. Boom, boom, boom. Probably did it 30 times in that test ride. So I came back, watched the video, and I was really just trying to confirm that it was coming from the exhaust. I was 95% sure. The video was fairly loud with wind noise, of course, because the camera was just out in the wind, so I could still hear it, and I was still pretty sure that it was an exhaust noise, 98% at that point in time. So I decided to do a little research, got on Google. I think I ended up going to whatever it's called, one of the forums, and looked up popping or backfiring for the Versys 650. Some stuff came up. One guy mentioned he fixed his by adjusting the TPS sensor, which I think is this right here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what that is. So I was like, wait a minute, I messed with my TPS sensor, throttle position sensor, when I was trying to fix the starting issue this thing was having. So I came out here, I was hopeful, but in the back of my mind I'm thinking this probably ain't gonna work, not gonna fix anything. Loosen this bolt up. I turn this sensor counterclockwise like a hair. When I say a hair, I mean the slightest movement that way. When I saw it move at all, that's all I did. Tightened it back down to the point to where you would think that's not going to do anything, right? It was such a slight movement that I didn't think, like, probably not going to do anything, but I didn't want to move it too much. Took it on a test ride. Didn't make that noise one time. Went on the same test ride, tried to make it make that noise over and over again. I could never make it make that noise again. All smooth, just on the throttle, getting on the throttle, letting off, giving it barely any throttle, nothing. It would just start steadily picking up speed. So it seems to have fixed that problem for me. Now, I'm not saying that's going to fix anyone's problem with this motor or this bike that's having backfiring issues or popping issues. Especially if it's an aftermarket exhaust, you're probably just going to have to deal with the backfiring, which is fairly normal. But if you have the stock system and you're experiencing something similar to what I was, I'm not telling you to adjust this. Do it at your own risk. I didn't see a problem with it. I think they recommend, even in the manual, to not mess with the sensor. Don't touch the sensor. Don't adjust the sensor. I'm pretty sure that motorcycle shop won't even touch the sensor or adjust it for you. So at your own risk type thing. It did seem to solve my problem. I'm not telling you to do it though. Look into it, and if you feel comfortable enough to do it, give it a try, because like I said, it seemed to fix what I had going on. So another thing with this bike was, since I had it, this handlebar on this left side was a little off since day one I had the bike. So when I'm riding, this hand was always a little higher than this hand. I just thought that it was these bars were slightly bent. Maybe the original owner fell over and bent the bar. But so I started looking at up here, and I was making sure I had the forks perfectly straight, and I could tell the forks were straight by a piece down in here I was lining up with the gas tank. And then the bolts right here on the handlebar risers, because these are aftermarket handlebar risers, the bolts right here I could tell was off from the distance between that bolt and the gas tank was different from the left to right side. So then I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute. Is there something else going on here besides a bent handlebar? So I started to get a little concerned. Maybe my forks were bent or something. So I ended up a couple weeks back, I took these handlebars off. I took the mount from the top off. I lifted these handlebars up. And sure enough, there's a bolt underneath these aftermarket risers that go into the OEM, whatever this is, I guess a riser for the handlebar. Sure enough, on both sides, that bolt was loose on these bars for the risers. So I took them out, cleaned them up, Loctited them, put them back on, and mounted the bars back perfectly straight. So that's awesome. Bars are perfect now. I didn't get that issue now. I got a new chain, new sprocket. So now that I know that there's nothing going on inside the motor to really worry about, I might put a little bit more money into the bike. I'm going to either replace the handguards. Either I'll get another set of OEM handguards for this, because I took the ones that came on this bike and I put them on my Kawasaki KLR. So I'll either just buy another set for this, or I'll take the ones off the KLR, put them back on here, and get another set for the KLR, some other type. I'm not exactly sure. I think I'm going to replace the windshield on this just because it's getting old and it has some scratches and stuff on it. So I would like a brand new windshield. Might get that. I'm going to put those on, and I think I'm good to go with this bike for a while. So I'm excited that I think I fixed that issue that I was having, because I was concerned about it. I really couldn't remember it doing that before, the whole starting issue, before I started messing with stuff. And then when I got, the bike was down for like 6 months. Then when I got back on and I heard that noise, I was like, this just doesn't sound right. Maybe I just don't remember. But anyways, sure enough, I think that was the problem. So I'm stoked. Before I put this video out, I'm going to take it on another test ride, and I'm going to make sure it's not doing that sound. But yeah, guys, all right, that's it. Look into it. Just be careful when you're messing with that sensor. All right, guys, later.